Well, welcome everybody to tonight's call. This is December 18th, Soaring with Robin. And I am just thrilled to see this great group tonight. We are going to do some really cool exploring. So I think most of you know me, although I don't know if I know Christy, but my name is Robin Eisenbeis, as I mentioned, and I'm a 24 Club National Marketing Director in Cary, North Carolina. And I first heard about Juice Plus 5 years ago from Dr. Ann Smithson. She is my awesome sponsor. And I shared with somebody today. I was doing a Zoom with a coaching call with one of our team members. And something that I kind of forgot about is that I was a guest at Ann's home. I did not even know Ann. So it was really awesome that somebody thought enough about me to invite me to an event because it was a cancer event. And my husband, as some of you know, is an oncologist. And the person who invited me was not a team member, still is not a team member. And meanwhile, it just made sense to me. And I shared it with my husband, who was skeptical at first, as many people are. And it took about 2 months, and Ann was really great about calling and inviting me to different events. And I was one of those kind of tough prospects that kept saying no. I was too busy, but it just goes to show that you have to sometimes just keep asking because you never know when the timing is right. So about 2 months later, after I went to Ann's house, our kids got sick again, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to call that Juice Plus lady. And so I did, invited her over to our home. And she shared what Juice Plus was to Charlie, who's a researcher and cancer doctor, and it just made sense. I mean, it took maybe 5 minutes, right, Ann? For him to look at the research, look at the label, and I, at that moment, said, all right, well, once he said yes, I'm like, all right, let's do this. And Ann explained that I could get a discount being a friends and family member. But I was very clear that I just wanted to do this for the discount, not for the business. How many people have ever heard that from a prospect? Many, right? Maybe some of you. So what Ann didn't know and what I didn't know at that time was that 2 months later, my husband's practice dissolved, totally closed. And so here I was, a stay-at-home mom for 17 years, 3 children in private school, and we really didn't know how we were going to keep them in private school. And we had noticed so many benefits of Juice, with Juice Plus, and I thought, you know what if I could make $500 extra per month? And so I called up Dr. Ann Smithson, and I said, I think I need to know more about this business. And it was just the right time. My husband did get another job at Rice Hospital very quickly. And but you know what? Those 2 months were a wake-up call for me. I knew that I needed a plan B. And so every time I'm talking to people, and they're set and everything is great, I just share that story because we don't know what's in the future for us, right? So I, with my awesome coaches, Kim Dalzell and Ann Smithson, it just made sense. I love the marketing plan. I shared with a lot of people. I went very wide and deep because that's what Tanya Oxley shared with me at a regional in Greensboro, my very first regional. So for all of you who are, building, make sure you go wide because sometimes, the person that we think may really help us get to the next promotion, it might not be their right timing. So 3.5 years later, I did reach the top of the company, National Marketing Director, and a year ago, October, I was able to share my story on stage in front of 8,000 people with my entire family, all 3 children on stage, my mom who's 80, my dad who's 85, and it was really powerful, the fact that my kids got to see me as a winning mom, changing lives, but the best part of all this is that I was able to get to be a part of this amazing corporate benefits package. So when I reached the top position, we looked at my husband's hospital package, compared it to Juice Plus, and guess what? Juice Plus was far superior to what he was receiving as a physician. So we are now on our Juice Plus benefits package, and it is really awesome. So tonight, I would like to share. I've been listening to, who's heard of Rich Roll? He's an ultra athlete. Amazing. I love his podcast. And I heard last week his interview with Tim Ferriss. And Tim Ferriss wrote the book, The 4-Hour Workweek. Some of you may have read that. The 4-Hour Body, another one of his. Tools of the Titans. And then his most recent one is called Tribe of Mentors. And it's huge. When it arrived, I was like, oh my gosh, but it's actually a pretty easy read, and you can open it up you can open it up like every day and read somebody different. And he asked really great questions. So I actually was really intrigued because during the Rich Roll podcast, he talked about a TEDx talk that he had done. And so I Googled it, and I really encourage you, I'm not showing that today, I really encourage you to watch his full TEDx talk. So what I'm going to do is share with you my screen. And I have let's see here. Here we go. All right. Everybody can see it? Raise your hand. Yes. Okay. So this is Tim Ferriss's TEDx talk that he called Fear Less. So I've always been a goal-setting person. I grew up with parents, before New Year's Eve, we'd have our list of, our goals that we wanted to reach. So I've always done that. But many people, I think the statistic is only 7% of Americans actually reach their New Year's resolution, which is pretty sad, right? And I believe after listening to Tim Ferriss's talk, the reason is because we don't get to the root of the problem. And that's what we're fearing. Okay. So I'm leaving for Patagonia on Saturday for an amazing experience. So I was really inspired by these pictures. So I want you to, hopefully you all have a piece of paper and a pen. I'd like you to write down your top 3 things that you want to do in 2018. And I'm going to give you just about 30 seconds to do that. Okay. Do we have any brave volunteers? Would anybody like to just share one? If you can just unmute yourself and just share one of your top wishes that you'd like in 2018, I'd love to hear from you.
I'll go.
Okay, Julie? And make sure you're muted if you are not sharing, please. We're recording this.
I want to go to Vancouver.
Awesome.
It's on my dream board.
I love it. Very cool. Great one. All right, who else? Get one more person to share what their goal is, or their dream. I should say their dream. I know you all have at least 2 or 3 on there. Be brave. It's a safe group. Okay, Penny.
Oh, okay. Hi. And I'm listening to this. I want a new house.
Woo!
Single family home.
I love it. Okay. All right. Do we have one more person, or should we move on? Any other brave people that want to just put it out there? Yvonne.
Spend time with family that don't live right here.
So
Grandtown.
Okay. Yeah. I like grandchildren, right?
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Well, those are awesome. Thank you for sharing. All right. So let me just change my my view here so I can see this. All right. So Tim talks in his TEDx talk. The goal isn't to be fearless. So he talks about fear setting and not goal setting. Okay. So the goal isn't to be fearless. The goal is to learn to fear less. And I just love that. I think that is because some of you may have wanted to write down something and maybe you didn't, because you thought, I mean, that monkey mind just goes crazy, right? All these things. There's no way you could do that. We'll never have that much money. My family would never allow, whatever it is. Those thoughts are going on. So the goal is to fear less. All right. So many of you know I love Success Magazine, one of my favorite magazines. And Tim Ferriss was recently on. And this is what he looks like. He's actually really small. He was a wrestler. And if you get a chance to listen to Rich Roll's podcast, it is fascinating because of the fact that he was born prematurely and he was really tiny. He really had to kind of work hard to reach certain goals that he set in high school and college. And he actually has bipolar disease, and fortunately, he had attempted a suicide that miraculously was stopped. So he's just a really incredible guy that has so much to share, and I really love his talk. So the hard choices. What we most fear doing, asking, saying are very often exactly what we need to do. How can we overcome self-paralysis and take action? So personally, when I was, and this may be true for many of you, when you are going for a big goal, let's just say it's senior sales coordinator, or maybe it's VF, or, excuse me, grab a sip of water. When I was going for NMD, there were many times that I had that self-paralysis, and having your sponsors to help you out, or having a sideline buddy or your family is really important because it happens, and so the way to get out of that is to take action. We always say, if you can touch your business at least once every day, you're taking action. So what we're going to do, and I would encourage you to take more time than what we have tonight, but is to envision and write down your fears in detail in this fear setting exercise. So this is from his TEDx talk. So what if I, okay, and there's 3 columns. So I've actually done this, and what I'd like you to do is to write on a piece of paper, what if I, and then make 3 columns: define, prevent, and repair. So while you're doing that, I'll just tell you a little bit about mine, okay? So the very first thing, because it's on my mind when I wake up, when I go to bed, is to reach 39 Club. And, there's anxiety with that. Right now I'm at 24 Club, hovering around 24 Club. That's a big jump, right? So I made a list of all the worst things that can happen. Number 1 is I've already booked my ticket to go to the 39 Club retreat. What if I don't make it? How will my team look at me? You just make a list. Okay. So there's several things. And then prevent. What can I do to prevent or decrease that chance of happening? So, number 1, today I actually hired a business partner, like an assistant, to help me, because there's a lot of details that I just can't do. I'm a big picture person, so I'm thinking that will definitely help. Talk to my team. I've been, connecting with downline, just rallying with people. What can we do as a team? What else? Do my 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 every single day. Go wider. Okay, so you think, I reached NMD, I don't need to add new. Well, I have a list of 40 people on my dream board that I want to join my team. So you make that list of prevention, and then repair. Repair damage or ask someone for help. So when I get into that mode where, I think there's no way I'm going to do this, what do? Reach out to my upline, my sideline. Whoops. If everybody can make sure they're muted, it might be a problem if somebody's unmuted. So I'd like for you to take 2 minutes right now and pick, if you want to just pick one fear, one big fear that you have. Maybe it's that new home. Maybe it is going to, I'm just going to use the examples, Vancouver, seeing family. Write down, again, all the worst things that can happen in the define column. The prevent column, what can you do? Who can you partner with? Or what can you do to help that not happen? And then the repair, okay? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. We'll come back in at 2:18, and I'm going to add to mine as well.
Robin,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I ask a clarifying question, please?
Yes, you may.
So when it says, what if I don't make this happen? So I
Yes.
define all the reasons or all the things. Okay. So what if I don't?
Yep.
Okay.
So what if you don't? So what's the worst thing? So if I don't reach 39 Club, or if Penny doesn't get that house that she wants, or if Julie doesn't get to go to Vancouver, what's the worst of all those? So you maybe go to Tennessee instead, or so you make a list of the worst thing that can happen if you don't reach that goal. And basically it's showing you that these fears, so much of it is in your head, right? That you can, and then once you write down all, maybe you just do like 2 or 3 define, how can you prevent that from happening? Maybe make sure you get your expenses in. I'm thinking of Daryl, for your taxes, and make that extra $10,000 that maybe you wouldn't have received, and that can be your down payment. Is that clear, Kim? Hopefully I'm not muted.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Okay. Okay, I'm sure you have many more things that you want to add, but I have a few more slides I want to make sure I get through. So actually, this was a slide that you were supposed to have when you were brainstorming. So just take in those beautiful pictures. And okay, we're going to go to the next slide. So I love this quote. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, by Seneca. And it is so true. I had a coaching call with a team member today, and so much of our brain is like analyzing things or just making it up, that we don't even want to take that step, right? So the cost of inaction. So Tim Ferriss talks a lot about emotionally what happens, physically, financially. And this is something that I'd like you to spend a little bit more time on. Let's just say, Penny, I'm going to use your example, okay? So you want a home. You want a home. And 6 months from now, let's just say that you absolutely do nothing to try to reach that goal. Well, you're still in the same, are you in an apartment right now?
Just a condo. We own it.
Okay, so you're in a condo. So you want a bigger place. You want a yard. You want a garage. And yep. And so 6 months from now, you're probably going to be in the same spot, right? If you don't start saving for it or picturing it, making that dream board, maybe, I don't know, reaching NMD or whatever it is, right? It's all related. And then 1 year from now and 3 years from now, and this is what happens with New Year's resolutions for a lot of people, is that if only 7% of Americans are actually reaching those goals, nobody's moving. I mean, everything is staying in that same spot because of your fears. So inaction is no longer an option for me. Ask yourself, where in your life right now might defining your fears may be more important than defining your goals? And what Tim Ferris says, it recommends, is do a fear setting practice once a quarter and just reanalyze. Okay, how are you getting closer to those goals? What's holding you back? And then look at your define list, your prevent list, and your repair list. And that is the end of that. I just love that view. So, all right, we'll just take a moment and just think about those fears and just learn to fear less is basically the message here today. So I'd love just to kind of open this up to some comments, questions. It's kind of a lot. And again, once you watch, and I'll actually post the link for Tim's video, the TEDx, but yeah, just kind of wondering, it's like a perfect time as we move into the new year. Conference is just 4 months away. And one thing that I definitely want to cover is our VIP Q Club. We, Kim and I just had a call a couple days ago, and I am so excited. We both are super excited of what we have planned. You will want to help your direct downline reach, qualification. And if you have any questions, reach out to your sponsors to learn more. But you will want to be at this VIP Q Club. So, and maybe that's one of your fears that you write down is, what if you don't reach it? What if you don't get qualified? What if you don't help one of your, teammates get qualified? And really work your way through all that. So, all right, I'm seeing some Julie. Yes.
So I just want to say, great training, Robin. It was awesome. I loved it, and I loved the fact that it's so easy for us to say, oh, just be fearless. Be fearless. Go out there and be fearless. But when you look at it like fear less and really break it down to say, okay, what are my fears, and have less of that. And it's just it has just a different meaning to it. Then it's so easy to just say, oh, just go be fearless. But really think about what your fears are and then lessen them. It's really cool. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. I really do hope that, over the next couple of days, you do that everybody writes down, 2 or 3 major fears, because for me, when I did it, the fears are really just fears and they hold you back. Yes, Kim.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. This was really great. And what I appreciated was the second piece of that. The first part is chunking down your fears so that you realize that they won't, whatever you're fearful about is not going to kill you. That's the first thing. And, you kind of put it in perspective more. But then I love that you included the, what if I don't get this? You define what could happen. The prevention piece is so key because it moves you from, okay, now I know that I'm not going to die if I don't reach my goal, but I've identified 5 things that could happen to keep me from that. Well, now what am I going to do about it? And you give yourself an opportunity to actually think before all of this happens. It's kind of like preventative medicine in a sense.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, this was really, to me, the really profound piece. And I just took one thing that I wanted and went through 3 reasons. And I have no stress all of a sudden. It's just like that quick in just a few minutes. So this was very well done. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Yes, Gail.
I was just unmuting myself. It was such a beautiful job in your presentation. What I was just going to add to it, the brain research is showing we like anything that's familiar. So whenever we stretch to something unfamiliar, so what it's doing is, how can I add more comfort as I'm stretching? And then you feel in control. Now, we do like novelty if it's associated with fun. So I'm thinking Penny, who would like a new house. she always makes everything fun. I can see her, let's explore and see what paper. Like she didn't even say what state she wanted to move to. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, so there's other elements to add to that.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you very much, Gail. Yes, Penny.
Well, I just have to say
You're moving to North Carolina?
No, sorry. Chicago, never leaving. I like the winter. I'm never going anywhere.
I love your Christmas tree, Jewish girl.
Oh, thanks. This one Hamilton can't get to. Yeah, I'm sitting over here laughing yet with tears in my eyes that fear holds me back so much. I couldn't even say what my first want was. I said it was a house. That's definitely on my list, but that's not my first want. I can't even say what I want because I'm so scared it's not going to happen.
Wow.
Which I'm sure you all know, but
just say it, Penny.
My heart just beating so fast, it like hurts. I want NMD so badly for Phoenix.
Yep, I know. And you know, look at this whole room of people that want that same thing. It's making me cry, Penny. We all want that. You know, it's like you can totally do it. You have a team of people who believe in you. And yep, you know, so write those fears down. If that's the biggest thing, you write that down. And then the house comes after that.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else want to make me cry again? Well, I want to just close by saying I just saw, if you don't follow Eric Worre on Instagram, I recommend that you do. And this goes in great connection with a coaching call that I had with one of my team members today. 5 reasons you didn't get your prospect signed up. And you probably all know them, but I just think this is powerful. Number 1, you failed to follow up with them. 2, you accepted their first no. 3, you assumed they wouldn't be interested. 4, you overinflated the opportunity or product. And 5, you made it all about you instead of them. So I'll post this, but I just thought that was perfect. And thank you all for playing with me tonight with our fearless fear setting. And I'll convert this into YouTube. So I know a lot of people weren't able to make it. Please share it with your team. And I will also post the TEDx talk and Rich Roll program. So thank you all. Have a very happy holiday and love you all very much.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.